Peace. Salute. Spears and Mics, hip hop culture, knowledge in the streets. So, mostly with Spears and Mics, we talk about hip hop. That's like the main discussion here on the podcast. We try our best and we strive to drop as much knowledge as we can, give jewelry, especially, try to plant the jewels into the youth, give them pieces of advice that could potentially help them elevate or see things more clearly at times. Brothers been in the streets, um, and elevated um above the streets. Not to say that we're better than the streets, but brothers did a lot of maturing throughout the years. And I just wanted to highlight, some things that I've seen recently. I think there's an episode a few months back, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, maybe more, where we talked about Hocus. Salute to the brother, peace and love, where he, implemented the drop your flag challenge, and that came with a lot of controversy and it came with a lot of ridicule at times from certain individuals, where people were questioning whether it was authentic or not. And me and the brothers at Spears and Mikes, we saluted it from the jump. You know what I'm saying? And we still do, because the brother's still putting in the work. And I wanted to give an update on that. That's why I came out tonight to speak on it, because I see that it continues to grow. Here in 2026, the brother's been stepping on the gas, you know what I'm saying, continuing the mission, continuing to reveal what many people are like, many people consider like the streets a myth now, that the streets are dead. The loyalty in the streets is over with, you know what I'm saying? Or the loyalty to the streets is over with. And I would agree with that sentiment, you know what I'm saying? I would agree with that train of thought. I think we're living in an era right now where um hip hop and many other things in our lives have been presented to us, where there's a lot of negativity behind it, you know what I'm saying? And even though in hip hop, we know the true hip hop has know that peace, love, unity, and having fun is what hip hop is supposed to be about, but it hasn't been used that way in 2026, and particularly with the youth and the drill movement and young brothers and sisters using it as a way to diss one another, discredit one another, and promote violence within the culture. And that's become such a great movement. And I don't want to say the word great, but I mean like such a big movement, you know what I'm saying? And really, man, just seeing Hocus speak on it often and continuing to spread that information. And I seen recently a brother Trust Moolah that was a part of the Almighty Latin King and Queen Nation. I think the brother is from the Lower East Side of Manhattan, you know what I'm saying, which is a very valid community in New York City, a very respected community known for the streets, you know what I'm saying? So this brother was apparently, and I don't want to speak on behalf of him, but he's made this public in multiple podcasts. And I've seen other people on different podcasts mention him as well. You know what I'm saying? That he was apparently, I don't know if he was the first crown or the Inca or, the head of some type of high ranking Latin king. You know what I'm saying? And I normally like don't like to discuss the politics of other street organizations here too much, but because that's public information, public knowledge, and the brother has come out and openly discussed, you know what I'm saying, what he's striving for, I just wanted to salute it. I think that when a brother has lived in a street organization and has done so much, and then you go to prison and, people turn their back on you, you start to see people try to sleep with your wife, your girlfriend, the disloyalty. You know what I'm saying? It's an eye opener when you've done so much for the organization, you've done so much for the nation. You know what I'm saying? And I think anybody that's in a street organization can relate to what we've all contributed to these movements. You know what I'm saying? Like myself with the Universal Zulu Nation or Zulu Union or just Zulu in general. You know, I've given it all. I've strived to give my energy, my love, my dedication, my time, my blood, my sweat, my tears, all of that. I've given it all. Um, the only thing I haven't given is my freedom or my life. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of brothers that have given their freedom and given their life to these street organizations. And what do you get in return? You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes we don't get the same love, the same loyalty, the same energy, you know what I'm saying, the same things that we put in to the nation or the movement or the gang, we don't get in return. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what's the purpose? Where are we at with this? What are we doing in 2026 joining gangs? Right? I'm looking at these podcasts, and I don't want to name names, but y'all know they all out there, particularly with, you know what I'm saying, a lot of blood members, high ranking brothers in the organization, peers of mine, you know what I'm saying, people my age in their mid 40s, you know what I'm saying, speaking on their troops and their involvement within the street organizations. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of treachery, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of violence inside the organization with one another. And I think that's something that I'm grateful that I didn't have to experience being Zulu. You know what I'm saying? Those that are familiar with our story and Spears and Mike's know that the brothers, the co-hosts of this podcast, have all been Zulu for almost 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Actively, never took time off. You know what I'm saying? Like, brothers have been consistent for many, many, many years. You know what I'm saying? And thankfully, our dynamic as an organization is different than maybe what the Latin Kings may experience, Bloods, Crips, BDs, GDs, and what many other popular street organizations have dealt with. Zulu Nation has never been geared or focused on the streets, although we are in the streets and we've always been in the streets. This is not something that people like join and actively gangbang within the organization. That's not something promoted. It's not something taught. It's not a part of the culture or fabric of the organization. It's about knowledge of self. It's about culture. It's about hip hop, and it's about elevation. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, there's always been a street element with Zulu. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the G's. You know what I mean? Peace to Shaka Zulu. You know what I'm saying? There is a very strong force behind the Zulu Nation, behind Zulu Union, behind Zulu in general, right? But it's never been, yo, you get down, um, and you gotta go wage war on another black man, another brown man, you know what I'm saying, another original man. That's never been our MO. It's never been our focus. It's never been how we get down. Anytime we're tied up or involved in the streets, it's been you attacked one of our brothers or sisters, harmed one of our brothers or sisters, then we go the eye for an eye, two for two. That's what we believe in. You know what I'm saying? You want war with the Zulus, then so it shall be. But that's not something we ever focused on. You know what I'm saying? We would just basically like defend ourselves and just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't continue on. Although myself and many others, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to sound contradictory, we've been sucked into ongoing battles with certain organizations throughout New York City. I've discussed that on my own personal episode. But all of that was foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was younger, right, as a leader in the Zulu Nation, very rarely would I have people drop the organization. I would basically like have members and they wouldn't leave, you know? Um, but once in a while I would have like a brother come up and say, yo, like, I gotta focus on myself. I can't be no good to Zulu if I'm dead weight, if I ain't got a job, if I ain't got no resources, like if I ain't doing nothing, I just don't wanna be in Zulu just dead weight and I gotta focus on myself. L, would you give me permission to leave to better myself? And I'm like, yo, you don't even gotta ask for it. Like, if you want to take a leave of absence, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wanna part ways with the organization, if you feel it's if we're giving you that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're lowering your vibrations or dragging you down or holding you back from greatness, go be great. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna hold a brother prisoner to something that he joined willingly. He joined willingly, he could leave willingly. Now, the motto of the gangs is that's not how they move. They move in a different fashion, blood in, blood out, so on and so forth. But for the most part, that's kind of a myth too. A lot of people leave, you know what I'm saying? I know MS-13 is different and probably like thing in California and Chicago, things is probably moving on a different time. But for the most part, my experience throughout New York City, Long Island, um, which is heavy gang presence throughout both regions, right? Is if you want to leave the gang, they will let you leave to better yourself. If you got a family, if you all of a sudden became religious and you had a change of heart, they'll most likely let you walk away as long as you not like, you know what I'm saying, causing problems or trying to bring people with you. Like just leave. Go, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Most people would leave. Um, I remember when I was younger, like it was common that people wanted to leave. Not common, but once in a while, people would want to leave Zulu and be in a gang. I want to be blood. I want to be Crip. I'll tell brothers like, yo, you got to be 6 months neutral. Leave Zulu, be 6 months neutral, or you know what I'm saying, like pay a $250 um like donation to the organization. And in most cases, people would the few cases that this happened with me, people would just say neutral for 6 months and probably never even join the gang. You know what I'm saying? I just did that to like, you know what I'm saying, like to keep pride within the family. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to see somebody Zulu one day and then the next day they out there with a bandana, with a movement behind them. And then all of a sudden now wind up being potential enemies to the organization. You know? What I have to say, man, seeing the brother Trust Moolah making moves, and I've seen a lot of his videos where he's walking around New York City. You know, do you have a positive message to the youth? I enjoy that content, you know what I'm saying? Because I think it's important that we amplify those messages, those jewels that you giving, or the people that you interviewing is giving some jewelry to the youth. And I hope they're hearing it, man. I hope this message is being received by our young brothers and sisters, man. Cause these streets, man, we're living in an era, right, where everything is on camera. It's not like before, you know, if you had to put in pain, if you had to go 1D, if you had to make a move on someone, you know, most likely it was probably justified and for a reason. Now it's like youth is doing things on impulse without even thinking about it. You know, I used to tell young brothers that joined Zulu that were wild, right? Like, yo, don't ever walk with no strap on you or carry it often. Like, if it's necessary, you know, I can't tell a man whether to leave himself vulnerable or not. He's gonna choose to defend himself how he chooses to defend himself. But what I would tell people is like, yo, if you got it on you, you're most likely on impulse gonna make a bad decision. But if you have it at home or, you know what I'm saying, a little bit further away, right? At least you get to think about it for a moment before you react and you don't react off of emotion. You know what I'm saying? This gives you like a more clear decision. If you're going to participate in violence, at least you could think it through rather than it be on your waistline and you draw on somebody immediately off the smallest thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I would like to, you know what I'm saying, express to the youth. We all know there's firearms, there's weaponry, there's 100 goons on deck when need be for the bullshit, right? But don't be so quick to push the button on somebody. Don't be so quick to go to the guns. You know what I'm saying? And I understand this is a different era. This ain't the hand-to-hand era no more. This ain't the me and you go 1D, me and you go head up. It's me and you go life for life. You know what I'm saying? And that saddens me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these moves you can't reverse it, you know what I'm saying? And when something happens so severe and so dangerous, can't take it back. And now you're gonna lose your life, your freedom, or you're just gonna be engaged in a war where at some point, you know what I'm saying, it's you or them. You know what I'm saying? At least, man, if y'all start using this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all start using this, right? Talk it out, man. Talk it out before y'all get physical, man. Don't feel like it can't, like y'all can't talk it out. You know what I'm saying? It's not a sucker move to talk out a beef. I talked through plenty of beefs. And it wasn't me being scared. It wasn't me being like having a like, you know what I'm saying, like eat my pride or ego. It just made sense. You gotta follow your heart and your mind and think things through before you go and really like alter things because certain things can't be taken back, man. I've seen brothers die. I've seen Matt Hall. I've seen brothers die. You know what I'm saying? Like for Zulu on the streets, dead with their beads on. You know what I'm saying? Covered in blood. It's not a good feeling. And I know many of you brothers and sisters in these organizations have seen homies die, have worn t-shirts with the homies on it, have seen murals put up with your peoples on it. You know what I'm saying? So what are y'all waiting for to elevate yourself? You know what I'm saying? This is why I always look at Zulu and the five percenters and the NOI and certain movements that have pushed knowledge and culture at the forefront, you know what I'm saying, that have implemented discipline with the young brothers and sisters as something that could really elevate people and keep people together in a positive manner. We need to put these organizations at the forefront of our communities rather than the gangs. You know what I'm saying? Rather than the gangs, man, let's be about the knowledge. Let's be about the culture. We don't gotta be suckers. We don't gotta be like whack. You know what I'm saying? But we could move in a different fashion where we put life and prosperity, goals and success rather than death, destruction, and violence. You know what I'm saying? So again, shout out to Hocus for a Fifth. Shout out to the brother Trust Mula. Shout out to the brother from Black Disciple that I see also recently dropped his flag because he was a brother that had a video out. Him and one of the brothers had talked about a video where they didn't want to even express nothing positive. They asked him, "Do you have anything positive to say?" And he couldn't really come up with nothing. But now the brother dropped his flag because he realized the treachery or he realized what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now he moving in a different fashion, man. And I hope these brothers stay solid and firm on their mission and continue to strive for elevation. I think them brothers need to have a meeting somewhere safe where they can discuss what they can continue to do to implement change and make it like not cool, but like make it something that the youth can gravitate towards. Because I've already seen people criticize Trust Moolah, seen people criticizing Hocus for a Fifth for their move, but y'all ain't giving no real plan. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't giving no real like alternative to what them brothers is doing. Y'all basically saying, yeah, they could have not did that for clout. You trying to say that that move was busted because it's for clout, right? But y'all brothers is on talking about them with the L in your hand, with the bottle in your hand, and talking a bunch of street shit. So it's like it's not even you can't talk bad about the brother when y'all showing negativity on camera. You know what I'm saying? So don't criticize the brother. Just let the brother live and y'all focus on doing what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about what the brothers that don't want to be down with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't take nothing personal no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be 46, inshallah. Right? If a brother told me, yo, I don't want to be Zulu no more for X, Y, and Z, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, peace. I respect it. I respect it. Because why wouldn't I respect a brother that's saying, I don't have time for this or energy for it. I just want to leave so I could better myself. Who am I to say, nah, don't better yourself, don't leave. Be a, out, we want Zulu to be an anchor and hold you down. Nah, let that brother fly, man. Let that brother soar towards greatness. You know what I'm saying? Encourage him. You know what I'm saying? Say, yo, you might have to take a couple of my members with you that ain't doing shit, that ain't worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to anybody, you know what I'm saying? But there's always dead weight in these organizations. You know what I'm saying? There's people that don't want to elevate. There's people that want to live um with stagnation. They don't want to step on the gas, man. And it's time for us as a people, our brothers and sisters, to put their boots on, man up, and get out the streets, man, and elevate their mentality, man. Um, again, man, I can't say it enough, man. Shout out to Hocus for a Fifth. Shout out to Trust Mula. Shout out to that brother from BD. You know what I'm saying? That left. You know what I'm saying? And I just hope to see y'all brothers on a path towards elevation, greatness, success, prosperity. You know what I'm saying? And yo, like the Zulus is always down to help y'all, man. Like for real. You know what I'm saying? Give us a call, reach out to me personally. And I can't say, we'll pull up 100 deep, man, but I'll round up some Zulus and we support y'all and continue to build on ways to save the youth. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm gonna be real, man. Like, peace to Zulu King Righteous. When I was younger, man, that brother used to really strive to bring the street organizations together, brothers from Latin Kings, brothers from the Nietas, brothers from La Familia, brothers from the Zulu Nation together to find ways on how we could bring the streets together and diffuse certain beefs within the movements, you know what I'm saying, and find ways to live positively, you know what I'm saying? So those were important, man, for us, like, you know what I'm saying, for the Zulus, for the streets, because really back then in the you know what I'm saying, mid 90s in the streets, that was it, man. It was the five percenters in New York City. It was the five percenters, Zulu Nation, the Nietas, Latin Kings, and La Familia. You know what I'm saying? That was really it. You know what I'm saying? In like maybe prison, obviously, in the mid 90s, like blood was formulating. The Crips was in New York already, you know what I'm saying, in certain areas as well, but they wasn't really like moving big, big, big. You know what I'm saying? These organizations will come together, man, to find ways to dab beefs and move together positively and also support each other at rallies, political rallies, you know what I'm saying? Stop the violence rallies, anti-police brutality rallies. That's where the gangs need a presence. You know what I'm saying? Like stay active within that. Find ways to encourage your members to be active on a political note. You know what I'm saying? Uh Listen, man, every day I see violence. A young man was shot in River Park Towers, 21 years old, bumping music in the Bronx. Those that know River Park Towers, it's a dangerous area. That's where the rapper D Thing and some of the young drill artists out of the Bronx are from there. RPT they call it, right? River Park Towers. It's two huge towers. I think they're like 40 something floors high. You know what I'm saying? Right next to Roberto Clemente State Park. It's on the west side of the Bronx, basically a couple blocks away from Sedgwick and Cedar, where hip hop started, where Cool Herc threw the first jam. And this community I'm familiar with, those River Park Towers, the Zulus used to hold meetings in there pretty often. You know what I'm saying? So I knew the dangers, but in particular, 2 days ago in the Bronx, there was a 21-year-old youth that had music playing loud. And some elder in the next apartment over told him to turn the music down. And he told him, F you, through the wall. Next thing, that youth was shot 7 times. You know what I'm saying? And he died, I believe, in St. Barnabas Hospital. The young brother died for bumping loud music. He disrespected the elder brother that was 75 years old. And I think the brother turned himself in when the police came looking for him because he had the ring camera. All of that was captured on the ring camera. They wanted to see the footage, and he just admitted he confessed to the killing. But the reason why I say this is because the youth don't respect the elders. The youth at times don't respect space. You know what I'm saying? Like your home is you're supposed to be a sanctuary, and we all love to bump music, you know what I'm saying? But there's a time and place for it, keep it at a respectable volume. I just think this young brother could have continued to live. You know what I'm saying? He could have been someone great and just made a mistake, you know what I'm saying? But he ultimately paid his life for that mistake and that disrespect. And now this old man will probably be convicted and die in jail or prison. You know what I mean? It's sad, man. Youth falling out of the windows in the Bronx, man. It's treacherous. There's so much sadness, man, and so much, the war going on, man. It's so much. How could we? With so much negativity around the world, how could we add to it? How could we add to the destruction? You know what I'm saying? Like, when we talk about the lessons of Zulu, right? What is the job of a Zulu? The job of a Zulu is to survive in life. You know what I'm saying? And that's such a like it's such a simple thing, right? When you say that, but it's also a difficult task to survive in life when we're in these streets, when we're in these surroundings that are dangerous. So listen, man, my message to y'all, the youth, or whoever's listening is, man, make it your job to survive in life and be successful. This is Spears and Mikes, and I'm Zulu King L1. Peace and love.